Hey guys, so in today's video I'll be doing a backup camera install on this '07 Santa Fe. This is the one, of course, we installed this Android Hey unit from Seicane not long ago. I'll be adding the camera to that one, and this is the camera I'll be adding. The one I'll be doing today is going to be a wireless system, actually, because I don't want to have to run a video cable all the way to the back of into the hatch. As well as trigger wire for the camera to kick in. So I'll be installing this wireless system. So here's the camera, and then there's two wireless transmitters. This one, it will be going to the unit itself. As you can see here, it's got the video output on it, and it has two wires. So you got your power and your ground. So I'll be splicing into the harness so I can get power and ground, and then this one will go to the unit itself. Now the other one is this one here. This is the one that goes to the camera itself. Again, it uses power and ground, and it's got the video to the camera, and it's got the power to the camera. So what we're going to be doing is, to power up the camera, I'm going to be plugging this one in to the red one, like so, and then the video, and these we all on the back by the license plate, and then that's all you got to do, and then they should talk to each other, and you should be able to see the image here on the unit itself. But again, we'll start at the front here. So we'll remove this trim piece as we did in the previous video. Remove the storage compartment here with the 2 Phillips screws. We'll get access to the back of the radio, and we'll get started. Alright, now that I've got access to the back of the radio, again, you can slide your radio all the way out, depending on the radio that you have. I'll be doing it like this. Locate your camera input, which is mine's right there, and then on the main harness, this one has two of them, one's for the speakers and this one's for the power, ground, ignition, and whatnot, illumination. Is this plug here, so I'm going to quickly unplug it. And there's my my ground here, and then my ignition switch over here. So I'll splice into those two for power and ground, and then of course the camera input here, and then I should be able to place that the little receiver probably just off to that side here, or even over here, so that it's out of the way of everything. So I'll get that started, and we'll go from there. Okay, I got the wiring done here behind the radio. There's our camera input video there. There's our transmitter. One last thing we got to do here at the front anyways is connect the reverse wire input. So we're gonna grab this wire here, and from what I've read on forums and whatnot, there's a wire located over here by the where you open up your hood. There should be a wire that runs from here all the way to the back. So let me open this up, and when I find out which wire I need, I will come back on and show you which one it is. So let me do that first, and we'll continue on. So there's our reverse wire hooked up, and I've gone and ran that wire up down below here, below the vent, through the key tumbler here, and all the way here to the left, to where I was talking about that wire. Now, the wire you'll need to find is on this red plug. This red plug is connected to that open port right there. Now, to gain access to it, you know, remove your fuse panel cover here, which is this one. Since this way, just pull it out, and then you need to remove this controls here, which is your traction, your all-wheel drive, your fog lights here. So what you do is, from underneath, go in there and push these tabs up and push it out, and you will gain access to it. Then you're looking for this red plug, press down on it, and then the one we'll be using is this blue wire, as you can see here. Now, from my understanding, what I've been reading is this wire is on this vehicle, on select vehicles, meaning if you get the model with the dimming mirror, rear mirror, this wire will be on this plug, and this is what triggers your your reverse anyways. Again, on certain models have them. If you don't have the dimming mirror, you may not have it. Check it anyways, you might. But if you do, again, it'll be this blue wire here. So again, I've already tapped into it, so I can show you. Now make sure that your battery is unplugged to do this. You don't want to unplug all this stuff here and have a whole bunch of things come up on your dash. But otherwise, that's all we do here at the front. I'll plug that in, plug all my other switches here, put everything back. We'll head to the back and we'll continue on. Alright, now that we're done at the front of the vehicle, we'll move to the back. Now, we need to remove this back paneling here to get access to the back. Obviously, our camera will be going here, but we also need to remove this paneling here to get our wiring into the back in order to tap to the reverse lights. So let's open that up and we'll continue on. Okay, so to remove this panel cover here, there's 4 Phillips screws you need to remove. One here, and the same thing on the opposite side, as well as this. Remove this little cover here in the middle. With the cover, there's a Phillips screw that you gotta remove as well. So let's remove those. Fell. So I'll remove the other 2 and we'll continue on. Okay, now we got all 4 screws in the corners plus the middle one. When I remove this panel here, so you gotta do is I tend to just go to the back, pull down on one corner, and then work your way around. And when you're removing it, you want to remove from the top here. You want to just go forward, and that should slide right off. And there you go. Now we've removed our cover here. If you've done it the first time, it might be a little bit hard because of all the clips. Always that's how you remove it. So now I'll bring this down and I'll show you what we need to remove next to gain access to our license plate. Alright, to gain access to that panel that I was showing you there, you need to remove some nuts here. There's one here, one there, and a couple on this other side. They're there, and then those little clips that you see right there, you gotta push those inwards and then push it out, and that will give us access to this panel here that we need to remove. Once we remove that panel, we'll be able to I'll be able to drill a hole here for the wire to go through and to the inside. As far as the wiring for the camera itself, if you look at here, this is the plug for the lights. So there is our reverse light. So this plug here has 4 wires. I already taken my multimeter and tested out this yesterday. So if I unplug this, I already know that for this model, the blue wire here, second on the left, that's the reverse positive. So that will get power 12 volts once the vehicle's in reverse. The green black is negative. So that's this little harness running along here. So if I get my camera harness to come out from this side here or this side, I'll have direct access to these wires. So I'll just peel them back, tap onto those, and that'll be the power and ground for the camera itself, as well as a transmitter that I'll be using. So I'll get these things off and we'll continue on. Alright, so we got that panel off, as you can see there. There's the 4 little nuts that you gotta remove to gain access to it, as well as there's these little clips here. There's 3 of them. So the trick that I found to get this off easier is if you press, because you gotta press them in there just like this. So you gotta press them in to pull them out towards the back of the car. So I found if you do one, push it down, and then of course once your nuts are off, and then just slide this panel just down enough so that it catches on the side, and then do the other side, like usually the middle and then the other side, and that'll pop it out. I found that if I just left it just sitting out there without the clips and I push on the other side, it'll move it the other way and it'll push it back in. Anyways, this is the harness here for the license plate lights. So I'll be using this grommet to go and into the back panel there. So just poke a hole through there, get my wire into the inside, and then another thing I'll be doing is drilling a small hole here to get the camera small wire to go through here. So essentially, camera's here, the wire should go up through here, and everything to the inside. So anyways, I've got this done. Let me start mounting the camera and we'll continue on. Alright, so here I'm done most of it here on the outside of it. So as you can see there, as we spoke about, I got my video and power wire fed through that little grommet. I just cut on the edge, fed them to the side, and pushed the grommet back in. And then there's the camera mounted, and as we said before, I made a little opening there so the wire here will push through there, and of course wire will be running straight up here and into this cover, and then I can plug my wires in there and then put this back together. But before I do that, let's get the wiring done, and we'll test it all out before we put everything back to make sure there's no issues. So anyways, let's open it up and we'll get the wiring going. Alright, so I've got the wiring done here inside the hatch. One thing to note is I had mentioned I was going to use one of the wires here for my negative, and it wasn't working. It wasn't picking up the signal. It was just all blurry and wouldn't connect. Even though the light on the transmitter itself was coming on, it wasn't really picking up the signal. So I wasn't sure what the issue was, but first thing I did was I changed my ground. So as you can see here, there's my ground line running up over, and there's a factory grounding point right there. So that's my new ground. Once I quickly tested that, it came on automatically without issue. So that's one thing to do. Don't use that ground of the harness. Go and ground it right there, and you have no issues. So now that I tested it out, I know it's working. I'll start putting things back together. So there's my transmitter. I'll just put it out the back here, zip tie it somewhere there so it's not just flopping all over the place. I'll clean up my wiring, tuck it all up inside, make sure this is secured as well. Doesn't gonna get pinched or crunched or anything. And then I'll start putting things back together. Again, I got that is here just hanging for now. So I'll put this back first, and then we'll continue on inside. Alright guys, so we got everything put back together, all the paneling and whatnot. So now we'll give it a test. So we go in reverse, and there's our review camera working. For reference, we'll see the red lines, meaning we're getting into the too close for comfort zone. So that's my tool bag right there. So we'll go outside, put this on park, and we'll do that because it is wireless. So let's head outside, and I'll show you where my bag is, so you have an idea as a reference of where that will be. So there's my tool bag, there's the bumper of the car, there's the camera. So you can see I have about, I would say about a foot or so space between the bumper and the tool bag, if that was an object there. So I know I have enough space. So I'll kind of play with it, try to get the best angle of the camera, because you can lower it and raise it and whatnot. So I'll see if I want to lower that up or kind of whichever. So I'll play with that a little bit more,
try to get the best angle possible so I know how much space I have between myself and what's behind me. But anyways, that's how you install a backup camera on a 2007 Hyundai Santa Fe. Any questions, comments, let me know. Thanks for watching.